Hi, welcome to Root Access, the show on Google Developers Live about startups. My name is Martin Omander and I'm joined here today by Dawn Dodge, Googler, longtime investor and startup evangelist. Dawn, today we're going to talk about founders who say, I have a great idea, but... So I'm sure you've heard this many times. Founders who come and say, I have a great idea, but I don't have any money. What do you tell founders who say that?
Well, first of all, they're not founders. If they just have an idea and haven't founded a company, then they're like the rest of us who have lots of ideas but haven't executed. So to be a founder, you have to take that idea and execute on it. You have to convince other people to join you and build a company and move forward. So I get those emails every day about, I have a great idea about something.
Oh,
and
me too.
We're all consumers. So consumer-focused companies, everyone has an idea for a consumer or social app or a mobile app, because we all have phones and we all have mobile apps and we all have ideas for mobile apps. But those are just ideas and they don't become interesting until you've thought about it further, convinced other people to join you, convinced investors to put money in. So ideas are just ideas, and they literally are a dime a dozen.
So another thing early founders say is, I have a great idea, but I won't tell you about it because I'm afraid that you or somebody else might steal it. What do you say then?
Yeah, I hear that too. Less now than in the past, but
that's good.
The reality is that if you don't talk about your idea, you're not going to get advice. You're not going to find out if the idea is reasonable or not. So you need to talk about the idea with early users, potential customers, to get their feedback to see if it's something that they're really interested in. Quite often we're delusional and we think an idea is great because we're talking to ourselves. You need to talk to other people to see if it's really an idea that has legs. You need to talk to people to find your co-founders and get them excited about the idea and willing to join you. You need to talk to potential investors to see if there's interest in this idea. Talk to potential customers or users to see how they would use it. So you need to be out there talking about your idea. The chances that someone is going to steal your idea are minimal. In fact, I've rarely ever seen that happen. More often the case is that people want to offer advice and offer help. Very few people or very few companies are going to drop what they're doing to steal your idea. That almost never happens.
Right. Yeah, the couple of times I've seen one company take on the business model of another, they're going after an established business, not really in very early stage startup.
That's right. And you know, big companies have 100 other priorities.
Yeah.
And they have established products and roadmaps, and they have 100 things that they want to do on that product roadmap. They are likely not interested in implementing an idea that's not already in their roadmap. So highly unlikely.
So, right. Okay, very good. So let's dig into that a little bit, because a lot of founders have great ideas, but they don't want to hire a bunch of developers and spend a lot of money and time validating the idea. You spoke some about how can they validate the idea early on, soon, and with minimal investment.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of today. You can start a company for almost no money. Because if you can code, if you can build, then you can start a company. Validation comes in many forms. So if you take your idea to some potential co-founders and they're willing to drop what they're doing and come join you to build this product, that's validation that this is an idea that has legs. If you're able to talk to advisors who have industry knowledge and they know the industry and they agree, oh, this is an interesting idea, and they're willing to help you as an advisor, that's validation. If you talk to users and early potential customers, they'll give you advice and help improve the idea. That's validation that it's something good. And then early investors. Investors are looking for that validation. They're looking to see that there are other people who will quit their jobs to come do what you're talking about. They're looking for advisors as validation that yes, this is, they have domain experience, they understand this, and they're willing to get involved. Early use cases from customers or users, all of those things create validation in the minds of investors so that they're willing to put their money in.
Because they won't spend as much time as the investor or the co-founder understanding the idea. So it helps them to see that the advisor or the co-founder thinks it's a good idea.
Exactly. So investors are looking for validation from all of those areas. And if it's missing, if it's too early and you don't have co-founders or you don't have early users or you don't have advisors, then the investor is going to be a little nervous. Unless they know you very, very well, they're not going to write a check. Or unless they know this business and have had experience in it, they're not going to write a check. So they're looking for that validation.
No. So get away from your desk, get out there. Sounds like the way to do it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Don. That's all for today. If you have comments or questions, please leave them under the YouTube video in the comments and we'll try to get back to them in future episodes. Thanks for joining us and see you at the same time next week. Bye.